Welcome to Phase 2 of the MPark Land Dive Survey. Phase 1 involved over 170 nautical miles of sonar surveys, which identified more than 650 potential dive sites. These dive sites were classified into 4 zones. Zone 1, which is the east shore, Zone 2, which is Narrow Bay, Zone 3, which centers around Diagon Island, and Zone 4, which centers around Macaragat Island and the Marine Reserve. Zone 1 is our first area and includes the east shore of the main body of our resort. Zone 1 sites are generally in shallow water from 8 to 15 meters. There's little or no current in most of these areas, and they demonstrate flat bottoms or gentle slopes. They're sandy bottoms with coral outcrops, coral ridges, and coral heads. There are many interesting sea creatures here for those that take the time to look carefully. Given the characteristics of Zone 1, we recommend this area for divers who are less experienced and may be intimidated by drift dives in current. There are many colonies of these brown-banded pipefish. They're relatives of the seahorse and are relatively rare. There are many coral clumps and outcrops like these in Zone 1. Careful observation will discover many creatures. Zone 2 is our next area, including Narrow Bay and its adjacent coast. Zone 2 sites are typically 8 to 18 meters without too much current. The bottom is generally flat to gently sloping, and the bottom is typically a sand field with isolated coral outcrops. Again, careful observation can yield interesting creatures. Zone 2 is strictly for beginning divers. It would be considered a very good training area with lots of open areas to conduct exercises. Zone 2 would be a great area to experiment with artificial reefs. We found these very rare black-banded pipefish hiding in a coral head. This glass shrimp is very rare and is highly sought after by underwater macro photography enthusiasts. Zone 3 is our next area, which centers around Diagon Island. This area also includes Kudau Island with its vertical wall. At depths of 60 to 80 feet, you can find some of the most beautiful coral fans in the region. Zone 3 sites are for more experienced divers. They are 10 to 25 meters in depth with fantastic vertical walls that can reach even greater depths. These sites typically exhibit some form of tidal current, so divers for these sites should have drift diving experience. Zone 3 has some of the best diving to be found in the area. There are many diverse and in some cases rare species to be found here. Our last section is Zone 4, including Macaragat, Dakat, and Hamarin Islands, and the marine reserve surrounding them. Zone 4 has some of the best diving due to the marine reserve. There's a great abundance of beautiful live corals throughout this zone. There is current in this area, so being an experienced drift diver will help. There are also many interesting marine species found here, including many colonies of pipefish throughout the zone. But the big story is the fantastic wall diving in this area. We can find an abundance of interesting fish along the walls. This includes large schools of longfin, circular, and pinnate spadefish. These spadefish are very curious animals and will sometimes swim very close to divers to get a better look. Zone 4 is loaded with beautiful coral fans, many of which are dramatically positioned along the vertical walls. We hope to see you soon at one of our great diving sites.